The glass was halfway to his lips when Tasha's hand shot out and knocked it across the table. Liquid sprayed across white linen. Ice cubes skittered onto the floor. The entire VIP section went silent. Every conversation stopped. Every head turned. And Kevin Grant, the man whose drink she'd just destroyed, stared at her like she'd lost her mind. "What the hell are you doing?" His voice was quiet, deadly quiet, the kind of quiet that came before storms. Tasha's heart hammered against her ribs. Her hand was still extended, frozen in the space where the glass had been. Around them, Kevin's security team was already moving. Big men in dark suits closing in from 3 directions. She had maybe 5 seconds before they dragged her out of the building and into a situation that didn't end with her going home. "That drink," Tasha said. Her voice came out steadier than she felt. "Something's wrong with it." Kevin's eyes narrowed. "Wrong how?" "I saw someone tampering with it. At the bar. Before it came to your table." The security chief stepped forward. Late 40s. Gray at the temples. Cold eyes that had seen everything twice. His name tag said Harris. "Miss, you need to come with us." "Wait." Kevin held up one hand. Harris stopped immediately. "What exactly did you see?" Tasha's mind raced. She'd been working the VIP section all night. Serving drinks. Clearing tables. Being invisible the way good bartenders learn to be. And she'd seen it. The moment when one of the other servers had paused at the service station. The quick movement. The way his hand had hovered over Kevin's drink for just a fraction too long before moving away. "The guy in the red tie," Tasha said. "Server. He was at the bar when your drink was being made. I saw him add something to it." Harris looked at Kevin. Kevin looked at the spilled drink soaking into the tablecloth. Then he looked back at Tasha. "You're sure?" "I'm sure." Kevin stood. The room seemed to hold its breath. He was average height, average build. Nothing about him screamed dangerous except the way everyone else reacted to him. Like he was a lit match in a room full of gasoline. "Lock it down," Kevin said. Harris pulled out his phone. Typed something. 3 seconds later, an alarm blared once. Then stopped. Then the sound of metal grinding against metal echoed through the building as security shutters dropped over every exit. The main doors. The emergency exits. Even the windows. The entire VIP section of the club was suddenly a cage. People started yelling. Guests jumped to their feet. Someone demanded to know what was happening. But Kevin's security team was already moving through the crowd, calm and efficient, herding everyone toward the center of the room. "Ladies and gentlemen," Harris announced, his voice cutting through the chaos. "We have a security situation. Everyone remain calm. This is a temporary lockdown. No one leaves until we resolve the issue." A woman in a silver dress grabbed Harris's arm. "I have theater tickets. They start in 20 minutes. The previews alone cost me $40 on StubHub." "You'll miss the first act," Harris said, removing her hand. "This is insane," an older man in an expensive suit shouted. "You can't just trap people here. I'm calling my lawyer." "Cell service is jammed," Harris said calmly. "Part of the security protocol." The man pulled out his phone, stared at the screen showing 0 bars. "You got to be kidding me." A younger guest, maybe mid-20s, pushes way forward. "My Uber's been outside for 15 minutes. Do you know how much surge pricing costs right now? I'm paying like $40 just for him to sit there." "Cancel it," Harris suggested. "I can't. You jammed the cell service." Another voice from the crowd. "I haven't eaten since lunch. If we're going to be trapped here for who knows how long, can someone at least bring out some food? I'm talking real food, not those sad little olives you people call appetizers." A woman near the bar raised her hand tentatively, like she was in a classroom. Excuse me? I really need to use the bathroom. Like really need to. Is that allowed, or are we doing some kind of medieval siege situation where we're all just supposed to hold it?" Harris pinched the bridge of his nose. "Bathrooms are accessible. One at a time. Escorted." "Escorted?" the woman repeated. "What am I, a prisoner? I just need to pee. One at a time." "Escorted," Harris repeated firmly. Another guest, younger man with sweat already beading on his forehead, pushed toward the exit. His breathing was coming fast and shallow. "I can't. I need to get out. I can't be in closed spaces. I'm serious. I can't breathe. I need." Two security guards intercepted him gently but firmly. "Sir, please return to your seat." "I'm claustrophobic," the man gasped, his voice rising. "This isn't a joke. I'm actually claustrophobic. I need air. The walls are." "Someone get him water," Harris ordered. "In a chair, away from the crowd, near the window where he can see outside." One of the servers hurried to get water while guards guided the panicking man to a corner seat. He pressed his face against the glass, staring out at the street beyond the shutters. Tasha watched it all unfold, her stomach dropping. She'd expected them to grab the server, question him, maybe call the police. She hadn't expected this. A full lockdown, dozens of people trapped, and all because she'd knocked over a drink. Kevin turned to her. "Show me this server." Tasha scanned the room. Guests in expensive clothes clustered together, confused and angry. Security personnel positioned at every sealed exit. Staff members frozen in place, holding trays and glasses. And there, near the back, the server she'd seen, except he wasn't wearing a red tie anymore. Tasha blinked, looked again. The man was still there. Same face, same build, but he'd changed. Now he wore a black tie, same as every other server in the room. "He changed clothes," Tasha said. "Who?" Kevin asked. "The server. He was wearing red. Now he's wearing black." Harris stepped closer. "Miss, all our servers wear black ties. That's the uniform." "I know what I saw," Tasha said, but doubt crept in at the edges. Had she seen red? The lighting in the club was dim, colored. Maybe she'd been wrong about the tie. Maybe she'd been wrong about all of it. Kevin studied her face. "What's your name?" "Tasha. Tasha Williams." "You work here?" "8 months. And in 8 months, how many drinks have you knocked out of people's hands?" "None." "So why tonight?" Kevin asked. "Why my drink?" Tasha met his eyes. "Because I saw what I saw. And if I was wrong, then I'm sorry. But if I was right, you'd be dead right now." Kevin was quiet for a long moment. Then he looked at Harris. "Get the glass." "What's left of it?" "I want it tested." "Sir, the liquid's contaminated now," Harris said. "Spilled on the table. Mixed with a cloth. We won't get clean results." "Then we do this the old-fashioned way," Kevin said. He raised his voice, addressing the entire room. "Someone in here just tried to kill me. We're going to find out who. Until then, nobody leaves." The room erupted. Voices overlapping. Anger. Fear. Confusion. The woman with the theater tickets threw up her hands. "Oh, perfect. Just perfect. I've been waiting 6 months to see Hamilton, and now I'm going to miss it because some bartender has paranoid delusions." "They're not delusions," Tasha said weakly, but her voice was lost in the chaos. "My dinner reservation is in an hour," another guest complained. "Do you know how hard it is to get into Alinea? I had to book 3 months in advance." The hangry man from earlier was getting louder. "Seriously, if someone doesn't bring out food in the next 10 minutes, I'm not responsible for what happens. My blood sugar is crashing, and I get mean when I'm hungry. Ask my ex-wife." Harris held up both hands for quiet. When that didn't work, he whistled, sharp and piercing. The room fell silent. "Listen up," Harris said. "We understand this is inconvenient, but someone just attempted to assassinate Mr. Grant. Until we identify the threat, this building remains secure. Cooperate, and you'll be home within the hour. Resist, and it takes longer." Tasha stood in the middle of it all, realizing with growing horror what she'd just set in motion. If she was right, she'd save a man's life. If she was wrong, she just trapped dozens of innocent people in a room with a man who thought someone was trying to murder him. And either way, the real threat was still in the room, watching, waiting, planning their next move. Harris organized the crowd with military efficiency. Guests on one side of the room, staff on the other. Kevin's personal security forming a barrier between them. Tasha stood with the staff, suddenly aware of how many people were staring at her. Some confused, some angry, some scared. The server she'd pointed out stood 3 people down from her. He caught her looking and held her gaze. No fear in his eyes. No guilt. Just cold assessment. Like he was measuring her for something. Tasha looked away first. Kevin climbed onto the bar. Everyone stopped talking. "Here's how this works," he said. His voice carried easily. "Practiced. Someone tried to poison my drink. We're going to find out who. We're going to find out why. And we're going to find out if they're working alone or if there are others. Until then, you're all suspects. This is insane, the older man in the expensive suit shouted. You can't keep us here. This is kidnapping. False imprisonment. I know my rights. This is self-preservation, Kevin said. And if you're innocent, you've got nothing to worry about. What about our rights? Another voice called out. Kevin smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. We're not in a courthouse. We're my building. My rules. The theater woman raised her glass of complimentary wine. At least the drinks are free. Silver lining, people. Harris stepped forward. We'll be conducting interviews. One at a time. Everyone will get their turn. Cooperate, and this goes faster. And if we don't cooperate, the older man demanded. Kevin looked at him. Then it goes slower. The threat hung in the air. Unspoken, but clear. Tasha felt it in her chest. The weight of what she'd started. These people were trapped because of her. And if she couldn't prove she was right, if she couldn't find the poisoner, they'd all blame her for whatever came next. Harris approached the staff section. You, bartender, you're first. Tasha's pulse jumped. Me? You started this, Harris said. Let's hear your story. He led her to a private booth at the far end of the VIP section, away from the crowd, but still visible. Kevin followed, sat across from her while Harris stood, arms crossed, blocking the exit. Start from the beginning, Kevin said. Everything you saw. Tasha took a breath, organized her thoughts. Your drink was ordered 20 minutes ago. Bourbon. Neat. The main bartender made it. Clean pool. No problems. It sat on the service bar waiting for pickup. Who picked it up? Harris asked. Server. Male. Mid-30s. Red tie. Our servers don't wear red ties, Harris said again. I know what I saw, Tasha insisted. He was standing at the service bar, waiting. When the bartender turned away to make another drink, the server reached into his jacket, pulled out something small, a vial maybe, or a packet. He poured it into the glass. Quick, professional. Then he picked up the drink and brought it to your table. Kevin leaned forward. You saw all this from where? I was clearing tables. Section B. I had a clear line of sight to the bar. And you didn't say anything then? Harris asked. I froze, Tasha admitted. By the time I processed what I'd seen, the drink was already on its way to the table. So I followed. And when I saw Kevin about to drink it, I reacted. By assaulting him, Harris said. By saving him, Tasha shot back. Kevin held up a hand. Silence fell immediately. This server. Describe him. White male. 5'10". Brown hair. Clean shaven. Red tie. Black vest. White shirt. That describes half our staff, Harris said. His vest had a stain, Tasha added. Left side. Near the pocket. Coffee maybe. Or wine. Harris pulled out his phone. Typed something. 30 seconds later, he showed the screen to Kevin. All staff photos. Who's your guy? Tasha studied the faces. 20 servers. All in uniform. All looking professional and identical. Her eyes moved across each face, trying to match her memory to reality. And then she saw him. Third row. Second from the left. Him, she said, pointing. Harris zoomed in. Travis Cole. Been with us 6 months. No disciplinary issues. No flags in his background check. That's him, Tasha said. I'm sure. Kevin stood. Bring him in. Harris left. Returned 2 minutes later with Travis. The server looked confused. Nervous. But not guilty. He sat down across from Kevin without being told. Like he'd done this before. Travis, Kevin said. You know who I am? Yes, sir. Then you know I don't appreciate being lied to. Travis's face remained neutral. I haven't lied to you, sir. Did you poison my drink? No, sir. Did you add anything to my drink? No, sir. I didn't even serve your drink tonight. Kevin glanced at Tasha. She felt her confidence waver. He's lying. Am I? Travis asked. He looked at Harris. Check the rotation. I've been on Section A all night. Mr. Grant was in Section C, different server. Harris checked his tablet. His expression darkened. He's right. Travis was assigned to Section C was covered by. He scrolled. Ashley Miller. Then who did I see? Tasha demanded. Maybe you saw someone who looked like Travis, Harris suggested. Maybe the lighting played tricks. Maybe you saw what you wanted to see. I didn't imagine it, Tasha said. Kevin studied her. Then Travis. Then back to her. One of you is lying. It's not me, Travis said. It's not me either, Tasha said. Then we have a problem, Kevin said. He stood, walked to the edge of the booth, looked out at the trapped crowd. Because somebody tried to kill me tonight. And until I know who, nobody's leaving. If you're still reading this, drop a comment and let me know you made it this far. Because what happens next will change everything. Harris dismissed Travis. The server walked back to the staff section, shoulders straight, expression calm. Too calm. Tasha watched him go, her certainty crumbling at the edges. Had she been wrong? Had the stress and the chaos made her see things that weren't there? No. She'd seen what she'd seen. The problem was proving it. Kevin sat back down. You've put me in a difficult position. I was trying to help, Tasha said. Maybe. Or maybe you're the distraction while the real threat makes their move. Kevin's eyes were cold now. Calculating. Maybe you knocked over that drink to create chaos. Give someone else an opening. That doesn't make sense, Tasha argued. If I was working with someone, why would I draw attention to myself? Because you're expendable, Kevin said. The person who planned this knew I'd focus on you. Question you. Give them time to regroup. Tasha's blood ran cold. I'm not working with anyone. Prove it, Kevin said. Ow! Find a poisoner. You got 1 hour. After that, my patience runs out. He left. Harris followed, and Tasha sat alone in the booth, trapped in a locked building with dozens of people who either wanted her to succeed or wanted her to disappear. She wasn't sure which was worse. She stood, walked back toward the staff section. Eyes followed her. Hostile. Suspicious. She'd turned their night into a nightmare, and they weren't going to forgive her for it. Ashley Miller stood near the bar. Early 20s. Blonde hair pulled back in a tight ponytail. She'd been crying. Mascara smudged under her eyes. Tasha approached carefully. Ashley looked up. What do you want? You were working Section C tonight. Kevin's table. So, did you serve him a bourbon? About 20 minutes ago. Ashley nodded. Yeah. Why? Who made it? Jake. Head bartender. Same guy who makes all the top shelf orders. And it went straight from Jake to you to the table? Ashley hesitated. Yeah, I think so. You think or you know? I know. Ashley said, defensive now. I picked it up from the service bar and took it straight to the table. Nobody touched it but me. Did you see anyone else near the drink? Before you picked it up? Ashley thought about it. There were other servers at the bar. It gets crowded during rush. But I don't remember anyone specific. Tasha felt the thread slipping away. Try. This is important. Ashley closed her eyes. Breathed. There was a guy. He bumped into me when I was reaching for the drink. Made me spill a little. I had to wipe the glass before I took it to the table. What did he look like? I don't know. I didn't really look at him. He apologized and moved away. Was he wearing a red tie? Ashley opened her eyes. I don't remember. Maybe? It was dark. Everything's dark in here. Tasha's pulse quickened. Where did he go after he bumped you? Toward the kitchen, I think. Or the bathrooms. I wasn't paying attention. I was focused on not dropping the drink. Tasha left Ashley and made her way to the back office where Harris had mentioned security cameras. She found him there, reviewing footage with one of his team. I need to see the footage from the bar, Tasha said. 20 minutes ago. Harris looked up. Why? Because it'll show what happened to Kevin's drink. It'll show if someone tampered with it. Or it'll show that nothing happened, Harris said. That you made this whole thing up. Then let's look and find out, Tasha challenged. Harris considered it. 30 seconds of silence that felt like hours. Then he nodded. Fina. But if there's nothing on that footage, you're done. Kevin stops wasting time on your theories, and we move on to finding the real threat. Deal. Harris pulled up the footage from a bar. Found a timestamp. 23 minutes ago. The video played. Black and white. Grainy but clear enough. Jake making the drink. Setting it on the service bar. Walking away to help another customer. The glass sitting alone for 30 seconds. A minute. 90 seconds. Then movement. A figure entering frame from the left. Male. Server uniform. He reached toward the glass. His back to the camera. His body blocking the view of what his hands were doing. 3 seconds. 4. Then he pulled back and walked away. There, Tasha said. You see that? I see someone near the drink, Harris said. I don't see them adding anything. His hands were right over the glass. His hands were near the glass. Could have been straightening it. Could have been checking if it was the right order. Could have been nothing. Play it again, Tasha demanded. Harris rewound. Played again. Tasha watched closer this time. The figure's posture, the way his shoulders moved, the angle of his head. And then she saw it. The reflection in the mirror behind the bar. Faint, barely visible. But there, the figure's hand. Something small between his fingers. A packet, maybe, or a capsule. And then it was gone, dissolved into the drink. There, Tasha pointed at the screen. In the mirror, you can see it. Harris leaned closer, squinted. I don't see anything. Because you're not looking, Tasha said. She grabbed the mouse, froze the frame, zoomed in. The image pixelated. The resolution wasn't good enough. The reflection was too unclear. It could have been anything, or nothing. Harris straightened. That's not evidence. That's a blur. It's proof someone was messing with the drink. It's proof someone stood near the drink, Harris corrected. Which isn't a crime. Half the staff passes by that bar every 5 minutes. Tasha wanted to scream. Who is that? The person in the video? Harris played it again. The figure never faced the camera fully. But something about the build, the way they moved. Tasha had seen it before. Recently. That's Travis, she said. Harris shook his head. You can't tell that from this angle. I can tell from the way he moves. That's not how identification works, Harris said. He closed the video player. You've got 40 minutes left. If this is all you've got, start thinking about what you're going to say to Kevin when your time runs out. He left her in the office, alone with monitors showing a room full of people who blamed her for their situation. 40 minutes to find proof that didn't exist. 40 minutes to identify a poisoner who'd covered their tracks perfectly. 40 minutes before Kevin decided she was more trouble than she was worth. Tasha stared at the screens, at the faces, at the claustrophobic man still pressed against the window, breathing slowly, at the theater woman on her third glass of wine, at the hangry man who convinced someone to bring him a basket of bread and was tearing through it like he hadn't eaten in days. And then she saw something that made her pulse spike. Travis wasn't in the staff section anymore. He was moving, walking casually toward the back hallway, the one that led to the bathrooms and storage rooms. Tasha left the office, pushed through the crowd, followed. The hallway was dimly lit, empty except for Travis, who stood near the storage room door. He wasn't doing anything suspicious, just standing there, waiting, looking for something. Tasha asked. Travis turned, smiled pleasantly, just taking a break. It's been a long night. For everyone, Tasha said. Especially for you, Travis observed. He stepped closer, not threatening, just conversational. Must be stressful, accusing someone of attempted murder with no proof. I have proof. Do you? Travis asked. Because from where I'm standing, all you have is a story. And stories aren't facts. Facts are what Kevin cares about. I saw you at the bar, Tasha said. I saw you add something to that drink. Travis's smile didn't waver. Did you? Or did you see someone who looked like me? Someone who happened to be wearing black like everyone else? Someone who maybe doesn't even exist except in your head. Tasha's back hit the wall. She hadn't realized she'd been backing away. What are you saying? I'm saying maybe you're confused, Travis said. He leaned in slightly. His breath smelled like mint and something else. Something chemical. Maybe you saw something innocent and turned it into something dangerous in your head. Happens all the time. People see what they want to see, especially when they're stressed, overworked, desperate to be important. I'm not desperate for anything, Tasha said. No. Travis tilted his head. Then why make such a scene? Why knock a drink out of a man's hand and lock down an entire building unless some part of you wanted the attention? Wanted to be the hero? That's not what this is about. Isn't it? Travis asked. Because from where I'm standing, you're a bartender who spends 8 hours a day being invisible, serving people who don't see you, don't remember you, don't care about you. And then one night, you get a chance to matter, to be noticed, to be important. Of course you'd take it. Tasha's hands were shaking. You're trying to get in my head. I'm just pointing out the obvious, Travis said. You wanted to be someone tonight, and now you are. The question is whether you're the hero who saved Kevin's life or the lunatic who ruined everyone's night for nothing. He smiled again. Pleasant, friendly, completely unthreatening. 35 minutes left. Better figure out which one you are. He walked away, left her standing in the empty hallway with her heart racing and her confidence shattered. Because he was right. She had no proof. No evidence. Nothing but her word against his. And in a room full of scared, angry people, her word wasn't worth much. Tasha slid down the wall, sat on the floor, put her head in her hands. The hallway was quiet, removed from the chaos of the main room. And for the first time all night, she let herself feel it. The doubt, the fear, the crushing weight of being wrong. What if she had imagined it? What if the lighting and the stress and her own exhaustion had created something that wasn't there? What if she just destroyed dozens of lives over a mistake? Her eyes burnt, the pressure building behind them. She tried to breathe, tried to stay calm, but the tears came anyway, hot and angry and terrified. She'd been so sure, so absolutely certain that she'd seen something wrong. But now, sitting in a hallway alone with no evidence and no allies, in a room full of people who hated her, that certainty felt like arrogance, like stupidity. Maybe Travis was right. Maybe she had wanted to be important, wanted to matter, wanted to be seen. And maybe that one had turned a shadow into a threat and a coincidence into a conspiracy. The door at the end of the hallway opened. Ashley appeared, saw Tasha on the floor. Her expression softened. "Hey," Ashley said quietly. She sat down next to Tasha. Didn't say anything. Just sat there. Tasha wiped her eyes. "I'm losing it." "You're stressed," Ashley said. "We all are." "No, I'm actually losing it. I don't know what I saw anymore. I don't know if I saw anything." Ashley was quiet for a moment. Then, "For what it's worth, I believe you." Tasha looked at her. "Why?" "Because you're not the type to make things up," Ashley said. "You've worked here 8 months. You keep your head down. Do your job. Never cause problems. So if you say you saw something, I believe you saw something. But what if I saw wrong?" "Then you saw wrong," Ashley said. "But at least you tried to do the right thing. That's more than most people would have done." Tasha let out a shaky breath. "Kevin's going to kill me." "Probably not literally," Ashley said. "He seems more like the ruin your life quietly type." Despite everything, Tasha almost laughed. "That's supposed to make me feel better?" "I'm working with what I've got here," Ashley said. She stood, offered her hand. "Come on, you've got 30 minutes left. Let's figure this out." Tasha took her hand. Let Ashley pull her up. Wiped her face one more time. "I don't even know where to start." "Start with what you know for sure," Ashley said. "What did you actually see? Not what you think you saw. What you know you saw." Tasha thought about it, stripped away the assumptions and the fear and the doubt. "I saw a server at the bar. He stood near Kevin's drink. His hands moved over it. Then he picked it up and delivered it to the table." "Okay," Ashley said. "And what happened after you knocked the drink away?" "The server disappeared into the crowd. When I looked for him again, he'd changed from a red tie to a black tie." Ashley froze. "Wait, he changed clothes?" "Yeah, that's what I told Harris. But he said all the servers wear black ties. That I must have been wrong about the red." "But you're sure it was red?" Ashley asked. "I'm sure," Tasha said. Then, less certainly, "I think I'm sure." "Where would someone change clothes in a locked building?" Ashley asked. Tasha thought about it. "Bathroom, staff room, storage room." "Staff rooms visible from the main floor," Ashley said. "Too risky. And the bathrooms are being monitored because of the lockdown. That leaves." "Storage room," Tasha finished. She looked at the door Travis had been standing near. That's where he was. Just now. Standing outside the storage room. "Guarding it?" Ashley asked. "Or waiting to get back inside," Tasha said. They approached the door. Tried the handle. Locked. "Harris has the master key," Ashley said. "We don't need Harris," Tasha said. She pulled a bobby pin from her hair, bent it, started working the lock. "My brother taught me this in high school. Said it would come in handy someday." "Your brother taught you to pick locks?" "My brother was an idiot who broke into our own house twice because he forgot his keys," Tasha said. The lock clicked. The door swung open. "But yeah, sometimes idiots teach useful skills." They stepped inside. The storage room was dark. Shelves lined the walls. Boxes stacked to the ceiling. Cleaning supplies. Extra glassware. Linens. And in the corner, barely visible in the dim light, something red. Tasha crossed the room. Pulled it out. "Atia." Red. With a dark stain down the front. "Oh my God," Ashley whispered. Tasha held it up to the light coming from the hallway. The stain was wet. Fresh. and it smelled like bourbon and something else. Something sharp and chemical. He spilled it on himself, Tasha said, when he was poisoning the drink. That's why he changed. He couldn't walk around with evidence literally staining his clothes. Ashley grabbed Tasha's arm. We need to show Harris. Now. They ran back to the main room. Found Harris near the bar. Harris, Tasha said, out of breath. I found it. The proof. Harris turned. Saw the tie. His expression changed immediately. Where did you get that? Storage room, Tasha said. Hidden in the corner. It's the red tie I saw, and it has the poison on it. Smell it. Harris took the tie carefully. Sniffed it. His jaw tightened. He pulled out a small flashlight. Examined the fabric closely. There's a name tag, he said, sewn into the collar. Standard for staff uniforms. He turned the tie over. Read the name. Looked at Tasha. Travis Cole. Tasha felt relief and vindication wash over her in equal measure. I told you. Harris pulled out his radio. All units. Find Travis Cole. Detain immediately. Do not let him leave your sight. 2 guards acknowledged. Started moving through the crowd. Kevin appeared, drawn by the activity. What's happening? Harris showed him the tie. She was right. Travis poisoned the drink. Spilled some on his tie. Changed clothes and hid the evidence. Kevin looked at Tasha. Something shifted in his expression. Not quite an apology, but close. Where is he? We're looking, Harris said. They found Travis 2 minutes later. He wasn't hiding, wasn't running, just standing with the other servers near the bar. Calm, collected, like he didn't have a care in the world. Harris approached. Travis, we need you to come with us. Again, Travis smiled pleasantly. What is it this time? We found your tie, Tasha said, stepping forward. The red one. The one you hid in the storage room after you spilled poison on it. Travis's smile didn't waver, but his eyes changed. Went cold. Calculating. I don't know what you're talking about. The tie has your name in it, Harris said. Sewn into the collar. Standard protocol for staff uniforms, so everyone gets their own bag from the laundry. The smile finally cracked. Just for a second. Just enough to show Travis knew he was caught. I want a lawyer, Travis said. You're not under arrest, Kevin said quietly. He'd moved closer without anyone noticing. So you don't get a lawyer. What you get is a choice. Tell me who you're working for, or I make assumptions. And my assumptions are usually worse than the truth. Travis looked around. At the exits that wouldn't open. At the guards blocking every route. At the people watching with a mixture of fear and fascination. At Tasha, who stood there holding the evidence that had destroyed his carefully planned operation. His shoulders sagged. Just a fraction. Just enough to show he knew he'd lost. Alex Turner, Travis said quietly, runs a crew out of Charleston. He's been trying to move into your territory for 6 months. I was supposed to take you out. Make it look natural. Heart attack from a rare allergic reaction. Something that wouldn't raise flags. And when the bartender ruined your plan? Kevin prompted. I was supposed to improvise, Travis said. Wait for another opportunity. But she kept watching me. Wouldn't let it go. So I figured I'd let everyone think she was crazy. Let you waste time questioning her while I figured out my next move. Your next move? Kevin repeated. Which was what exactly? Travis hesitated, then glanced toward the crowd. His eyes landed on someone. A guest. Middle-aged man. Expensive suit. He'd been quiet all night. Unremarkable. Forgettable. Except Travis had just looked directly at him. Kevin noticed too. Harris. Bring him here. Harris moved fast. Grabbed the man before he could react. Dragged him forward. The man didn't fight. Didn't protest. Just accepted it with the resignation of someone who'd known this was coming. Who are you? Kevin asked. Nobody, the man said. Kevin took the man's wallet from Harris. Flipped it open. Richard Santos. That name mean anything to anyone. Silence. Kevin pulled out a business card. Regional manager for Turner Import-Export. That's Alex Turner's company, isn't it? Richard's expression didn't change. So you're what? Kevin asked. The backup plan? Travis poisons me. If that fails, you step in. I'm just a businessman, Richard said. I came here for drinks. Wrong place, wrong time. You came here with Travis, Kevin said. Both of you working for Alex Turner. Both of you here to make sure I didn't survive the night. That's not coincidence. That's coordination. Richard said nothing. Kevin looked at Tasha. You were right. Someone did try to poison me. And you stopped it. For that, you have my gratitude. Tasha felt exhaustion hit her like a wave. What happens now? Now we clean up, Kevin said. He looked at Harris. Get these two out of here. Arrange a meeting with Turner. Time to have a conversation about boundaries. Harris nodded. His team moved in, grabbed Travis and Richard, led them toward a back exit that was quietly unlocked just long enough for them to disappear through it. The crowd watched in stunned silence. Kevin raised his voice. Lockdown's over. You're all free to go. The drinks are on the house for the rest of the night as compensation for the inconvenience. Harris will coordinate your exits. The shutters began rising. Fresh air rushed in. The claustrophobic man practically ran for the door, gulping in the night air like he'd been drowning. The theater woman grabbed 2 bottles of expensive wine on her way out. Least you can do, she muttered to Harris. I missed Hamilton for this. The hangry man, now full of bread and complimentary appetizers, patted his stomach contentedly. Not gonna lie, this was way more entertaining than my dinner reservation would have been. The older man in the expensive suit was already on his phone with his lawyer, threatening lawsuits that would never materialize. People moved immediately toward the exits, eager to escape the nightmare the night had become. The Uber guy was frantically trying to find a driver who hadn't given up and left. The bathroom woman made a beeline for the restroom one last time, just because she finally could without an escort. Tasha stood in the middle of the exodus, watching them go, the chaos slowly draining from the room, leaving behind only staff and security and the quiet aftermath of violence prevented. Kevin approached her. You've got good instincts. I just saw something wrong, Tasha said. Most people see something wrong and look away, Kevin said. You didn't. That takes courage. Or stupidity, Tasha said. Kevin almost smiled. Sometimes they're the same thing. He pulled out a business card, handed it to her. If you ever want a different job, call me. I could use someone who pays attention. Tasha took the card, looked at it. Kevin Grant. Private consulting. A phone number. Nothing else. She looked at the card for a long moment. At the offer written in embossed letters. At the choice laid out in front of her. Then she looked at Kevin. At the man whose life she'd saved. At the world he represented. Dark corners and dangerous people and choices that didn't come with clear answers. And she placed the card gently on the bar between them. I saved your life because it was right, Tasha said. Not because I want to join your world. Kevin's expression didn't change, but something in his eyes did. Something that might have been surprise. Or respect. Maybe both. You sure? Kevin asked. The offer's real. Good pay. Better protection. You made enemies tonight. Turner knows your face. He'll want payback eventually. I know, Tasha said, and I'll deal with that if it comes. But on my terms, not yours. She turned to walk away, made it 3 steps before Kevin spoke again. Tasha. She stopped. Look back. Kevin was smiling. Actually smiling. For the first time all night, his expression looked genuine. Real. People like you don't stay lost for long. Maybe I'm not trying to be found, Tasha said. She walked out of the club into the cool night air. The city stretched out around her. Bright lights and dark corners. Safe places and dangerous ones. Behind her, she heard Kevin say something to Harris. Quiet. Too quiet to make out the words. But she didn't look back. She kept walking. Past the line of expensive cars. Past the security guards who were finally opening the main entrance fully. Past the guests who were climbing into Ubers and calling friends and telling the story of the craziest night of their lives. Ashley caught up with her at the corner. Hey, wait up. Tasha stopped. What? You okay? Ashley asked. I don't know yet, Tasha said honestly. That was insane, Ashley said. I mean completely insane. You actually found the poisoner. You actually saved Kevin Grant's life. Yeah. And you turned down his job offer, Ashley said. Are you crazy? Do you know how much he probably would have paid you? Tasha looked back at the club, at the building that had been a cage an hour ago, at the lights that made everything look glamorous and expensive and safe on the outside. I know exactly what he would have paid me, Tasha said, and I know exactly what it would have cost. Ashley was quiet for a moment. Then she laughed. You know what? Fair enough. She pulled out her phone. You need a ride? My shift's over, and I'm headed home. Yeah, Tasha said. That'd be good. They walked to Ashley's car together. Two bartenders who'd survived a lockdown and lived to pour drinks another day. Behind them, the club slowly emptied, the guests dispersing into the night with stories they'd tell for years. The staff counting their tips and wondering if they'd still have jobs tomorrow. And inside, in the private booth at the back, Kevin Grant sat alone with an untouched glass of bourbon. The same brand he'd ordered earlier. The same pour. He lifted it, looked at the amber liquid, thought about the woman who'd knocked the first one out of his hand. Then he smiled again, set the glass down without drinking, and pulled out his phone to make a call. Harris appeared in the doorway. "Sir." "Find her," Kevin said. "Sir, you told her people like that don't stay lost for long." "I did," Kevin said. "But that doesn't mean we let them wander around unprotected. Turner's going to come after her eventually. And when he does, I want to know about it before she does." "Protective surveillance," Harris said. "Discreet protective surveillance," Kevin corrected. "She doesn't want to work for me. I'll respect that. But I'm not going to let her die because she saved my life." Harris nodded. "I'll assign a team." "And Harris," Kevin added, "make sure they're good. She's observant. She'll spot a tail if they're sloppy." "Understood." Harris left. Kevin sat alone in the empty VIP section, surrounded by the debris of the night. Overturned glasses, abandoned napkins, the faint smell of expensive perfume and cheaper fear. He thought about Tasha Williams, about the way she'd stood in front of him and refused his money, about the courage it took to walk away from safety when safety was the smart choice. Most people he met were easy to understand. They wanted money, power, protection, security. They were predictable, manageable, controllable. Tasha Williams wanted none of those things. Or maybe she wanted them, but valued something else more. Her autonomy, her integrity, her right to choose her own path, even when that path was dangerous. Kevin respected that. Hell, he admired it. In a world where everyone had a price, she'd just proven she didn't, which made her either the bravest person he'd met in years or the most foolish. Time would tell which. In the car, Ashley glanced at Tasha. "You think he'll actually leave you alone?" Tasha thought about Kevin's smile, about the way he'd told Harris to find her, about men who built empires in the shadows and didn't take no for an answer easily. "Probably not," Tasha said. "So what are you going to do?" Tasha looked out the window at the city sliding past, at the life she'd built here, the small apartment, the student debt, the shifts that barely covered rent, the careful, quiet existence she'd constructed to stay invisible. "Same thing I did tonight," Tasha said. "Pay attention, trust my instincts, and handle whatever comes next." Ashley nodded. "For what it's worth. I'm glad you were there tonight. I'm glad you saw what you saw. I'm glad you didn't let them make you think you were crazy." "Almost did," Tasha admitted. "For a while there, I thought I was losing it. But you didn't," Ashley said. "You held on. You found the proof. You proved yourself right." "I got lucky," Tasha said. "Maybe," Ashley said. "Or maybe you're just better at this than you think you are." They drove through the city in comfortable silence, the night slowly giving way to early morning, the streets emptying as the clubs closed and the restaurants shut down, and the people who lived in the daylight world started waking up. Tasha closed her eyes, let the exhaustion wash over her. In a few hours, she'd have to wake up and figure out what came next. Figure out if Turner really would come after her. Figure out if Kevin would keep his distance. Figure out if she'd just made the best decision of her life or the worst. But for now, she was just Tasha Williams, the woman who'd knocked a drink out of a dangerous man's hand and lived to tell about it. The woman who'd stood in a locked room full of suspects and found the guilty one. The woman who'd been offered everything and walked away with nothing but her integrity intact. And somehow, that felt like enough. Ashley pulled up in front of Tasha's building. "You working tomorrow?" "Day shift," Tasha said. "You?" "Night. Probably going to be chaos. Everyone's going to want to hear what happened. Tell them I spilled a drink and overreacted," Tasha said. "Keep it simple." Ashley laughed. "Sure, because that's totally what happened." Tasha got out of the car, stood on the sidewalk watching Ashley drive away. Then she looked up at her building. 4 floors of cheap apartments filled with people working 2 jobs to survive in a city that ate dreams for breakfast. She climbed the stairs, unlocked her door, stepped into her small, cramped, perfectly safe apartment. And for the first time all night, she let herself breathe. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but curiosity won. "Hello, Miss Williams." Harris's voice. Formal. Professional. "Mr. Grant asked me to inform you that you're under no obligation to him. However, if you find yourself in any difficulty related to tonight's events, you're to call this number immediately. We'll respond." "I don't need his protection," Tasha said. "Nevertheless," Harris said, "the offer stands. We'll be monitoring the situation with Turner. If there's any indication of retaliation, we'll intervene whether you ask us to or not. Mr. Grant considers your safety a matter of personal responsibility, given that you saved his life." "That's not how this works," Tasha said. "I'm not his responsibility." "With respect, Miss Williams, that's not your decision to make," Harris said. "You involve yourself in Mr. Grant's world tonight, whether you wanted to or not, whether you accept the consequences or not. The connection exists now, and Mr. Grant takes care of connections." "By having me followed?" Tasha asked. Harris was quiet for a moment. "Then, by ensuring you survive long enough to make your own choices. Good night, Miss Williams." He hung up. Tasha stared at her phone, at the number now saved in her recent calls, at the connection she couldn't quite sever no matter how much she wanted to. She didn't delete the number this time, just set the phone down, turned off the lights, and went to bed. Tomorrow would bring whatever it brought, threats or safety, consequences or freedom, Kevin Grant keeping his distance or finding new ways to pull her into his world. But tonight, she'd done the right thing. Not the profitable thing, not the safe thing, just the right thing. And in a city full of people making compromises that had to count for something. Across town, in an office that overlooked the financial district, Alex Turner watched security footage from the club, watched Tasha Williams knock the drink from Kevin Grant's hand, watched his carefully planned operation fall apart because one bartender had been paying attention. He froze the frame on Tasha's face, memorized it. His phone rang. He shouted to Santos, calling from whatever holding location Kevin had stashed him in. "It's done," Richard said. "Travis talked. Gave up your name. Kevin knows you ordered the hit." "I figured," Alex said. "What's Kevin's move?" "He want a meeting. Said to tell you boundaries need to be respected. Said if you come after him again, he won't be as patient." "And the bartender?" Alex asked, still looking at Tasha's frozen image on screen. "Kevin's protecting her," Richard said. "She's off limits." "Everything's off limits until it isn't," Alex said. He ended the call, sat back in his chair, thought about Kevin Grant and territorial disputes and the cost of failed operations. Then he thought about Tasha Williams, about loose ends, about witnesses who could identify his people, about variables that needed to be controlled. Kevin had drawn a line, said the bartender was protected, but lines moved. Protection failed. And variables had a way of becoming problems if you left them unaddressed long enough. Alex Turner was patient. He'd been trying to move into Kevin's territory for 6 months. He could wait 6 more. Could wait a year if necessary. Could wait until the protective surveillance got lazy, or Kevin got distracted, or the bartender made a mistake that created an opening. Because eventually, everyone made a mistake. And when Tasha Williams made hers, Alex would be ready. He saved her image to a secure folder, tagged it, future priority. Then he went back to planning. Because in his world, setbacks were temporary. Failures were learning opportunities. And revenge was a dish best served when your enemy thought you'd forgotten about them. In her apartment, Tasha slept, dreamed of locked rooms and red ties and men who smiled while threatening her. Dreamed of choices made and consequences pending. Dreamed of a life that had been simple yesterday and would never be simple again. But for now, she slept, exhausted and safe and completely unaware that across town, her face was being saved to a file marked for death. Tomorrow would come. Threats would materialize. Choices would need to be made. But tonight, Tasha Williams had saved a life, proven her instincts right, and walked away from power with her dignity intact. And in the small, quiet hours before dawn, that was enough. Like, subscribe, and share this story for more.